Embarrassing. Guests BO and shout at Meghan's speech at Afro Women and Power Conference. The Afro Women and Power Conference was meant to be a celebratory event showcasing the achievements and influence of prominent Black women leaders. However, the evening took an unexpected and uncomfortable turn when Duchess Meghan of Sussex took the stage to deliver the keynote address. But before we continue, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for updates. As Meghan approached the podium, the audience's enthusiastic applause quickly gave way to a chorus of boos and angry shouts. Visibly flustered, Meghan paused and attempted to regain control of the situation, but the jeers only grew louder. Audience members were seen shaking their heads, rolling their eyes, and a few even stormed out of the ballroom in protest. This public rebuke of the Duchess comes on the heels of a year filled with controversy and missteps for Meghan and the broader Sussex brand. From the ill-advised Oprah interview to the much-criticized Archetypes podcast, Meghan has struggled to maintain goodwill and support, particularly among the Black community. So what went so wrong at this high-profile event meant to celebrate Meghan's purported status as a beacon of Black female empowerment? The answer lies in a growing disconnect between Meghan's public persona and the lived experiences of the women she claims to represent. A failure to connect. In her speech, Meghan aimed to draw parallels between her own journey and the broader challenges facing women of color. She spoke of overcoming adversity, raising a biracial child, and using her platform to amplify marginalized voices. However, many in the audience felt her remarks rang hollow and failed to meaningfully engage with the real-world struggles of the attendees. It was like she was trying too hard to relate to us, but it just fell flat, said Shanice Williams, a nonprofit leader in attendance. Her experience is so far removed from the daily realities of Black women. It was honestly insulting that she thought she could just show up and expect us to embrace her. Others were more blunt in their criticism, accusing Meghan of opportunism and a fundamental misunderstanding of the Black female experience. She's a rich, privileged woman who's married to a prince. How dare she presume to lecture us about strength and resilience? Said Aaliyah Henderson, a community organizer. Meghan has no idea what it's like to face the kind of race-based discrimination and economic barriers that we deal with every single day. A troubling pattern. This backlash is part of a larger pattern of Meghan struggling to cultivate genuine connections with the constituencies she claims to champion. Her efforts to position herself as a voice for women's empowerment, racial justice, and mental health awareness have often been met with skepticism and even outright rejection. Even prior to her royal exit, Meghan faced criticism from some quarters for a perceived inauthenticity and lack of meaningful engagement. Her guest editorship of British Vogue was panned by some as a superficial attempt at activism, while her work with the Hub Community Kitchen was seen by others as a performative PR stunt. And since relocating to the United States, Meghan's missteps have only multiplied. Her Archwell Foundation has been accused of failing to deliver on its ambitious agenda, while her podcast Archetypes has been criticized for its shallow treatment of complex issues. Perhaps most damagingly, Meghan's high-profile interview with Oprah Winfrey, in which she and Prince Harry leveled accusations of racism against the royal family, was met with widespread skepticism, even among many in the Black community who were initially sympathetic to her cause. A credibility crisis. The debacle at the Afro Women and Power Conference represents a new low for Meghan's personal brand and the broader Sussex endeavor. It lays bare the fundamental credibility gap that has dogged the Duchess, as she struggles to reconcile her privileged background and proximity to power with her claimed status as a champion of the marginalized. Meghan has this tendency to position herself as this great advocate, but she's never really done the work to understand the communities she claims to speak for, said Dr. Layla Touré, a professor of African American Studies. Until she can demonstrate a genuine, long-term commitment to these causes and admit her own blind spots and shortcomings, she's always going to struggle to gain the trust and respect of the people she wants to inspire. For now, the path forward for Meghan and the Sussexes remains unclear. With their star power seemingly on the wane and public goodwill increasingly elusive, the couple will need to chart a new course if they hope to regain their footing and fulfill their stated ambitions. But if the Afro Women and Power Conference is any indication, Meghan has a long way to go before she can credibly position herself as the voice and champion of marginalized communities. The work of true allyship and advocacy is hard, unglamorous, and often thankless, something the Duchess has yet to fully grasp.